You know what I don't miss? Jolt Cola. Do you remember Jolt Cola?
Jolt.
Do you remember that?
Of course.
Grandy, Lucas, do you guys know Jolt Cola?
No idea.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I actually do.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
It was Red Bull before Red Bull.
Captain
basically.
Sugar over here.
Yeah.
Actually, but
I don't know if I've ever had it, but I remember the brand.
do you? This will shock you because I just looked it up.
Okay.
When do you think they stopped doing Jolt Cola?
Stopped doing Jolt.
Actually, when did they start and when did they stop?
They
What's your guess?
started making Jolt probably Jolt. I remember the commercial. Jolt feels like it was in my high school era, so I'm going to say Jolt came out in 1983.
Ooh, really good guess.
Thank you.
Really good guess. Let's tell him what he's won. Nothing. 1985.
Okay.
I'll give it to
2
you.
years.
Yeah,
is fair. Thank you.
1985. When do you think they stopped making Jolt Cola?
Well, these are the things where it usually goes on a lot longer than you think, even though you haven't thought of it or tasted it or drank it. I think it went on and on a lot longer, but Grandy doesn't know what it is.
Never heard of it.
And he's 28, so that means if he was 12, he would have known about it 16 years back. I'm going to say they stopped in 2007.
2007 is Dibs' guess. 2007, that is 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Jolt Cola was being made until March 29th, 2019.
Wow.
They made it 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Where the hell were you, Grandy? What, have you never been to a gas station
That's a
before?
great
What's the matter
question.
with you?
I don't know.
What's the matter with you?
Well, don't forget, this is the guy who doesn't drink caffeine because
Doesn't
he's
drink.
better than everybody
Yeah.
I
else.
also don't drink soda.
Or
Fair
nap.
point. Yeah.
Doesn't nap.
Absolute weirdo. But anyway, here's
Yeah.
why I brought up Jolt Cola.
I was
For-
wondering.
For those of you who don't know, yeah, I like that you said it's Red Bull before Red Bull, but it was soda like Coke or Pepsi. It was that kind of a soda, and it was sweeter than Lucas's latte. You should see this guy order a latte. It's hilarious. They're like, how many pumps of vanilla? He goes, just keep going. Keep going. I'll tell you when
I'll
to
say
stop.
when.
Yeah, just keep
I'll say
keep
when.
pushing that thing, and when the cup is overflowed, give it a few more, and then we'll get out of your way. So anyway, Jolt Cola was just that. It was a jolt to your system. It was an absurd amount of sugar.
The initial slogan, real quick.
Yeah.
All the sugar and twice the caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not hide from what they were. And in a way, I kind of liked them for that. I had some Jolt Cola because it came out when I was 10 years old. And then when I get to high school, that's officially the time in your life where you're like, I don't care about anything. I'm bulletproof. I do this with the kids all the time. All the time. At 9 o'clock, we've had dinner. Dad, can we go get crumble? Dude, you've already had 3 desserts. And no, don't get crumble. Ooh, what's the matter with you, Mr. Fluffy Pants? Fine, go get diabetes. Go do whatever you want to do. Because at that age, you don't care. And quite frankly, there's no cost. You can eat a bowl of ice cream in a serving dish, and it doesn't affect you. You don't gain a pound. I get it. So that was when Jolt Cola was big. And they were like, yeah, this is who we are. We're like, drink a bunch of us. We'll kill you. And we don't care. Jolt just popped into my head because that was the word that I'm thinking about and that we're talking about with our Bay Area sports teams.
Need a jolt.
We need a jolt. We need a jolt. We need a ridiculous amount of caffeine. We need an absurd amount of sugar. We need a jolt right now because really, ever since the Niners lost the Super Bowl, I do think we've been in a temporary sports depression. I do. The Warriors didn't even make the playoffs. The Giants are like, hey, we're going to spend money. More losses than wins. And then what are the side stories? Oh, by the way, while you're not making the playoffs, one of your all-time greats who's going to have a statue someday, yeah, he gone. Bye, Clay. Oh, and meantime, hey, Niners, I know you're going to be good, but your best receiver, he's mad. He's mad, and he may never not be mad. And we don't know what's going on with his future. That's been our reality now for, 4 or 5 months?
Since February 11th. February 11th was the day of the Super Bowl, and I was watching it at home with the wife and the baby, and it's like, they're going to do this thing. Oh, my God. They may not do this thing. overtime. Oh God.
Yeah.
And then they lose. And the next day, the Warriors went out and they beat Chicago to get to 18-20. But from that point forward, so they were 17-20 when the Niners lost the Super Bowl. And so the Niners or the Warriors from there would go 29-17 and then lose the play-in.
Yeah.
And then Clay leaves. And so it feels like the Warriors have taken a little dip. You mentioned the Giants, and here we are 3 games below 500, and we're all fighting for that third wild card.
And I'm not even bringing up other stuff, too. There's other stuff, like Oakland fans. The A's are like, yeah, we're leaving. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, our wins have been few and far between, and I'd argue that they're kind of small. Like, and I don't mean
Macklin Celebrini.
Small. Okay, there you go. That's a great example. The Valkyries being announced.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing. There's excitement about that. The ticket sales went really, really fast. Celebrini is a great example. There's little things here and there that you can sort of hang your hat on, but they haven't been that full, like, I can sink my teeth into it jolt, and we need one.
Yeah.
The first opportunity is going to be the San Francisco Giants. They get the first crack at a jolt, which is, can you uncork a winning streak sort of with a gun held to your head? Like, that's what it feels like. Winning streak now or we're out. That's what Farhan said last week, is it not?
Basically, I mean, really winning stretch. And let's take the next 11, and I do think it matters how you go about it. You sweep Colorado on the road, and then you take 3 or 4 from LA, and now you're 6-1 in the first 7 out of the break, and now you got some excitement. You go to LA and you take 3 or 4 from the Dodgers, even though they're a little bit depleted. Doesn't matter. That's the Dodgers. Then Colorado comes here. Even if you split, now you've really made a move. You've gone 8-3 over 11, and you won 3 straight series. You pushed the Colorado one. However it goes, then you get to the deadline, and you're a game or 2 above 500. You're a game or 2 out of the third wild card. Now we've got something. And we've seen Robbie Ray as a Giant, and Blake Snell has 2 more outings where he looks like second half Blake, and Logan does Logan things, and Harrison's there, and now we have too many arms, and this team's humming, and Farhan's making moves. That's the kind of jolt you're talking about.
Second crack after the trade deadline, August 6th. Lauri Markkanen Day. Are you signing an extension with the Jazz? Or by then, are you going to be a member of the Golden State Warriors? And where is the Poughkeepsie kid? And where is JK? And where's Moses Moody? In what city will he do yoga next year? That's the next opportunity for a jolt. And then I would look at both franchises, and not like I'm holding the Warriors to the fire. They don't have to trade for Lauri Markkanen. I would suggest very much that they don't cave. You know, if it's a good deal, it's a good deal. But if it's not, wait. You've got time. There's a number of ways that you can play this. Don't do anything out of desperation. The Giant situation feels a little bit more desperate, a little bit more of a clock. But if either one of you fail to give us fans a jolt, well, both of these things lead right up to the start of the NFL preseason. So these teams do compete with one another for your entertainment dollar. And the Giants have got first crack to make it feel like 2024 is going to be a pennant race year. And then the Warriors are going to have the next crack to be like, do we do something that really leaves like an off-season imprint on our fan base and get everyone talking? And if not, well, then it's NFL season. And I'm fairly certain that team will give us a jolt.
Well, yeah, the jolt's already there. I mean, the only thing that would be jarring would be if they weren't very good. If they had bad things happen and they lost games and they really struggled and all of a sudden the Niners didn't look like a juggernaut, that would be a negative jolt. But I don't think that the Niners can give a jolt or need to give you a jolt. It's football.
No, they're
good.
Yes.
Here we go. So I don't think that there's a jolt that's necessarily going to happen unless you come out and you go, 7-0, and you got Kansas City week 7, you got Dallas week 8. Those are both at home, and Dallas is prime time. If you come out of that and you go into the bye and you're 8-0, okay, now we're on to a little bit of a different level of a jolt. But I think, to your point, the Niners can't really, nor do they need to, provide that jolt.
No,
it's football. They're good. Here we go.
Yeah, I would argue that there's actually only a small set of circumstances that would lead the 49ers to be kind of that reverse jolt. And it's like if,
don't even put a name to it.
All haywire.
Right.
But no, the 49ers will be a jolt upon arrival. But that is a failure of the Giants and Warriors if the next jolt after the 49ers in the Super Bowl is the 49ers again. You were given 6 months to get us excited. And what has happened in those 6 months? Well, you signed Blake Snell, and so far, that's been a big old L. I'm glad that he looks good now. I'm glad that he's on the team now. I never gave up hope that Blake Snell would be something in the second half, but to this point, that has not offered a jolt, and your record has not offered a jolt. And the Warriors were making a playoff push. They did not do it. And then they got to the offseason, and fans were thinking, ooh, like Paul George, like what's going to happen? Nope, you got Buddy Hield and Slow-Mo. Like literally the acquisition you got is nicknamed Slow-Mo. And it's appropriate because that's what the last 5 months have felt like. They felt like they're in slow-mo.
Yeah, and for the Warriors to provide a jolt, really the only one they could do would be Lauri Markkanen or another trade between now and the start of the season, and that's really unlikely. And so for the Warriors, the biggest jolt they can deliver is not going to be till October. And the Giants really have center stage to maximize on what a jolt could be. It would be a trade acquisition, or it would be a great run between now and September. Those are things that they could do before the 49ers opener on September 9th.
Markkanen would count, don't you think?
For sure.
I get that there's no games.
Even Brandon Ingram Zach LaVine would be a jolt if you traded for him. People don't necessarily like it or want them to do it, but that would be a jolt. That would be a shock to the system. Any trade you made between now and the season that involved players' picks and the acquisition of somebody who we know, that would be a jolt, like it or dislike it.
Can I promise you something right now?
Go ahead.
The Warriors will not acquire Zach LaVine.
Of course. Of course not.
That's
the last thing that they need.
Here lies, on 95.7 The Game, home of the Warriors. Rest in peace. In the cemetery. Here lies.
We used to do this bit.
The Zach LaVine talk. Please. I am reporting this. I am telling you this. You can stop. Zach LaVine is not going to be a Warrior.
Of course.
Under any circumstances. No way. No. Don't.
I was just using it as an example of what a jolt would be.
Yes, I know, and I know.
I don't advocate for the trade. I don't think it's a possibility.
I just want everybody to know this: the Warriors will not be acquiring Zach LaVine under any circumstances at all. No way, no how, no shape, no form. You can go ahead and put it in a bottle and set sail. It is absolutely 1,000% off the table. I hope we're good here.
Oh, we're good.
Let's move on to other names. That's a no from them, dog.